joined now by the lead team from Ulster University. They have been developing Chatpal for the last few years. We have Professor Raymond Bond. Hi, Raymond.
Hi.
We have Courtney Potts. Hi, Courtney.
Hello.
Hi, and Professor Maurice Mulvaney. Hi,
Good
Maurice.
afternoon.
Raymond, can I start with you? Just give me us a flavour of what was the overall aim of setting up and developing the Chatpal project?
The overall aim was to provide a digital intervention to support people's mental well-being, in particular people who live in rural areas and sparsely populated areas. And we wanted to co-produce the chatbot with mental health professionals and end users living in the areas.
You've been working on this now for a couple of years. What would you say are the main learnings that you've got from the project?
I suppose the main thing would be responsible design of these kind of products, so mental health chatbots in particular. So from the very beginning of the project, as Raymond said, it was very important for us to involve end users in the design, the development and the trialling of the chatbots, as well as mental health professionals, both in industry and academia. So I think that's been really useful and really helpful as we've gone throughout the project. And as one of the outcomes, we've developed a toolkit which other people can use, which we provide our experiences in designing and developing this kind of product. And we hope that will be useful for other people as well.
When you say other people, you mean people then going on to develop similar types of things?
Yes, exactly.
Was there anything like this out there before you started? I mean, are you building on stuff that's already been done? What makes you different, I suppose I'm interested in?
So there are other mental health chatbots out there. Most of them are based on treating mental health conditions, whereas ours is more about mental health promotion and can be used by anyone. And also most of the chatbots that are out there at the minute are in English only, whereas ours is multilingual. It can converse with people in Swedish, English, Finnish and Scottish Gaelic as well. So I think that makes it quite unique.
The scientific contributions, what are they?
I think there's many, and hopefully there will be more soon. But we have done needs analysis with people living in those areas that we're interested in. We've got their thoughts around what they would want to have in a chatbot to support their mental well-being. And we have developed a number of features in the chatbot, like gratitude diaries to engender positive emotions and positive psychology, mood logs, and also psychoeducational material. But we've also engaged with mental health professionals. We have done a large survey to see what kind of things mental health professionals would endorse in a chatbot, because there's no point in delivering a chatbot that people want but mental health professionals wouldn't endorse. And then we have to think about what artificial intelligence and technology can do well, because yes, people might want a feature, mental health professionals might endorse it, but if the technology can't deliver it safely, then there's no point in developing it, because you don't want the chatbot delivering harmful advice to people. So we want to avoid things like that. So we try to think about all of those three things, and the primary contribution will come at the end of the project, where we'll publish the trial data and we'll actually see if the chatbot itself has made a difference to people's mental well-being. And hopefully that will come out in the next few months.
Maybe in 40 years' time, we'll look back at these early chatbots and they will seem a bit like the early mobile phones, with all the rapid advances in AI, and presumably all those things will become cheaper and easier to do. What do you see as the potential long-term impact of the work that you're doing?
It's difficult to look into the future and to guess what's coming down the line, but what our research tells us is what's acceptable in society and community. And as Raymond was saying, that also the technology works in supporting and engaging people's mental health in society. So if we then try to take that forward and think about how the technology is developing and how people are then accepting the use of these developing technologies, I think what we're going to see is an increasing prevalence of technological interventions supporting people's mental health and physical health. So this digital health tsunami is coming down the line, and I think it's the only way that with a decrease in tax funding that people's health will be more supported at home, and the technology around them will then help them continue to live independent lives at home, whether they're mental health issues or physical health issues with aging and so on. We'll still have primary care in hospitals and so on, but I think they will get much smaller because it'll be more difficult to afford those. In Northern Ireland, for example, over 50% of the budget for the whole of Northern Ireland goes on supporting healthcare, and that's getting bigger and bigger, and that's finding it difficult to support people's health currently. People have waiting lists for 3-4 years for long-term conditions. So how do we support that? Well, we try to bring in technology and see how we can do that. And the smarter the technology, the more AI in it that's endorsed by and supported by people, then the better the impact that will be. Research is so important because we're listening to the views and giving voice to the clients who wish to use these services, hearing their voices, and then we're also listening to the as Raymond and Courtney were both talking about, the healthcare professionals. And one of the surprising things actually in this early days of this research was that the initial survey of the healthcare professionals, that they were so supportive of technology because they saw it as something that could be something that allowed them to take their mental health care services further at lower cost and available to people at a bus stop, using their smartphone, as opposed to having to go into the
So it's a complementary service, definitely not a replacement.
Absolutely.
I'm responsible for my health, and I refer myself to primary care, and I need to have some active role in my own health as well. Digital tools should never replace traditional services. They should augment them, and I think these digital tools can actually collect more real world data in the wild, at home, out and about, that can be shared in a standard way to provide briefing notes or data visualizations that help psychotherapists or other healthcare professionals improve those traditional services. When we developed Chatbot, Chatpal Chatbot, we made a number of design decisions because you mentioned ethics and the ethical issues around chatbots. And we recognized those, that is, that we wanted to avoid a chatbot giving any harmful advice. So we actually restricted the artificial intelligence capabilities of chatbot technology because we knew the ramifications of giving harmful advice is too severe, especially in mental well-being and mental health care. We also didn't actually name our chatbot. So it's not called Ben or Raymond or Sarah. And it doesn't have true understanding. So if you type something into the chatbot, you can't always expect a human-like response. So it's just reminding the user that this is a computer. We can't answer all queries. If you really do need help here, we also signpost to helplines where they can speak to a real person.
What we wanted to do is ensure that people would, if they want to engage with mental health services, they would use the chatbot as part of that blended approach and not be solely relying on that if that's where the need was. But apart from that, yeah.
Great. Well, thank you very much. That's a fascinating setting us all up for hearing more about Chatpal. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.